Hello, good afternoon and welcome to what will be the first in a series of videos regarding the newly released, 2019 released Judge Dredd miniatures game from the lads at Warlord Games. Okay, so this is somewhat new to me. I've literally just picked it up today. You can hopefully still see the shine of the plastic covering it. I've picked this up from my local independent. Now, I originally pre-ordered the, I think it was called the Judgment Day set, which was the box game itself and Judge Dredd. That's both mounted and unmounted. When I got to the shop itself, I picked it up from my local independent, and I figured, you know, all of that, the gang inside are going to need as much help as they can. So I decided to pick up the Block Gang expansion pack or reinforcements, and of course, with the for pre-ordering the set yourself, you get the Judge, what's it called? The Judge Dredd Special Edition Miniature Dredd versus Death. Okay, there are a few unboxing videos out there already, I know, including one itself from Warlord. So what I'm going to do is I just basically wanted to start this off as a bit of a log of my time with the Judge Dredd game. So as I say, we'll have an unboxing now. When I have time for a little look through the book, I'll come back with a quick review, and then obviously from there we'll look at painting, hobby side of things, and even some games. And I understand there's campaign rules in this, so even like an expansion on that. So with a campaign system, as I say, I know there's already some unboxing videos out there for Dredd. So what I'll do, as a special treat, we'll even have a little look through these other two packs as well. Right then, so as I say, this is brand new and still in the film. So I'll just open that up, and we'll get to seeing what's in the box. So as always, get that open and take a second to appreciate the waft of freshly printed plastic and card. Right, so what have we got in here? We've got the dice. These are generally your 2000 AD dice, I believe they're called. These remind me of the Project Z, the dice that are available in Project Z. So we've got the shield, which I understand generally means to block, the little kaboom, that generally means for hitting, and your special 2000 AD, which I think pretty much means for everything else. So we've got 9 of those in there, and 2 regular D6s. What those are for exactly at the moment, I'm not 100% sure, but I dare say, as I come to look at the book and do a review video for that, we'll explain that all then. Right, so what's next? Right, so we've got your standard Warlords Games bases. I'm sure we've all seen a few of those before, so I'll just put those to one side. Right then, so the token markers. So these are similar to the Strontium Dog, the other 2000 AD game that's currently available. I'm not sure exactly what they are. I know these ones generally mean various in-game, general in-game occurrences. I think it's gold for the judges, obviously, and blue for the for everyone else, the criminal elements. They are both the same, I believe. So yeah, they are. So we'll just have a look at one for now. Right, so we've got various other things. I think it's, for example, I think that's maybe a wound token, or those are. That's some kind of injury, and I think those are your to indicate that they've run or something. Again, don't quote me on any of this. Possibly Overwatch, maybe, or something similar. And most importantly, you've got your the chits, the tokens that go in your dice bag, similar to other Warlord games. I've been doing a bit of Lord of the Rings stuff today, you may be able to tell, so if I have already referred to it as that, or do again, I do apologise. I mean to say Warlord. So similar to the Warlord games, you have your chits in the bag, which you take, and that indicates the turn. Now, from what I know, the star token is for your character models, and if they have the star, that's character or hero models, that indicates those, and I believe those ones you're able to take a cool test, as they call it. That's like your leadership test or something similar, it would be called in other games, and you can potentially put it back in the bag to redraw, but also know obviously failing that cool test comes with a negative trait of its own. Okay. So up next we have the models themselves, which I'll come back to in just a second actually, because obviously models of course are the big part of the game. So that's been packed for me by Alex, so thank you very much, Alex. Right, and so these are the cards available. I'll open first these are the character cards, I believe. I had seen these cards once already. My local independent store had an unboxing or a demo pack in. So yeah, these are the character cards. Now these cards are actually sort of a plastic sort of card. What the chemical compound of which I'm not exactly sure what it is, but yeah, these are like a plastic feel, so hopefully a bit more hard wearing than some of the others. So we've got some characters. So I think that's you got your standard judge, street judge. Again, not 100% sure what the symbols mean, but we'll come back to that when I'll look at reviewing the book. We've got our rookie judge, a senior. Oh, so it's not just necessarily the ones in the box, or is it the ones in the box? But you can use them as anything ultimately. So it's a senior street judge. I think I've known it as the box containing a street judge and a rookie judge. A veteran street judge. So we're heading into Dredd territory here. And here we are. So we've got okay. So there's a block gang lieutenant. So obviously a lead figure. And the regular your regular block gang. So this is what the gang's made up of: a gang Juve, a gang Punk, and a gang Heavy. Sounds similar to another closely related game from a rival company there, but but hey, I love that game, so why not have more of a good thing? And there you go. So there's a few little special rules for those as well, and you have those on the back of all the other cards. So up next, I believe these are some special play cards, something similar. I'm looking at Smoke Bomb right now, so yeah, some kind of special upgrade cards. I'm not going to go through all of these, certainly not, as I'm not 100% sure what they'll offer. But so there we've got Smoke Bomb, so that's blocks lines of sight across a 3-inch radius. So again, you know, that's I think the 3-inch smoke screen is a popular rule in games. A Stun Gas, so that's a weapon that incapacitates enemies. So all rules on page 53, right? Okay. So again, I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be, but these are called Armory Cards, by other things. So High X. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, obviously, good old Carl Urban at the end of the Dredd film, the 2012 Dredd film, with his going through his cycle of ammunition, and the only one being available is High X, which he uses to decapitate one of the crooked judges. We've got a couple of those, obviously very popular. So I won't go through all of these right now. I think they're all Armory or something similar. Yep, those are all Armory cards. And here, oh, what's this one? This one's a Big Meg. Months for Brains. The next model that your opponent activates must pass a cool test. If they fail, they only get one single action. No double action disactivation. Okay, so there's a few little things like that. So there's your little fun bits to add a bit of an extra dimension outside of the normals. But again, we'll we'll come back to these when we start playing the game. Right then, next up we have, right, I'll come back to these in a second. Also come back to you in a second. Actually, you know what? We'll have a look at this now. I'll just get it open. Okay, so here we have the first side. This is your urban downtown environment. Something I found a little bit unusual was the choice to go with the highway here, so giving it multiple levels on what is essentially, of course, a flat board, meaning you'll have to find some way of representing the models being both under and over. However, it looks good. It's a nice starting point. So if we take a look at the other side, and here we have there's a bit of vegetation here. In fact, it quite well matches the battle mat I've already got underneath. So this is your possibly your wasteland, the wasteland surrounding Mega City 1. So this is the environment for that. Obviously, there's still the highway in place. But yeah, as I say, the material of this is really good. It's kind of like again, this is the plasticky sort of feel to it, so hopefully it'll be a bit more hard wearing. Obviously a lot of us will either be adding our own terrain or have our own terrain to use, but yeah, it's giving you an option. It's giving you something to play on other than just a bare table. So I do like the inclusion of these, as we've had with other Warlord titles recently. Right, and so let's crack on with the box. Right, so back with the box, we have here the On the Mean Streets of Sector 43. So this is some example scenarios. So this is like your initial, by the look of things, is your initial playthrough pamphlet. A Sugar Rush, that I know there's been some very good example videos come out of from Goblin Games, and Sugar Rush I believe is the first mission they've done a playthrough of. So say if you get a chance, go and have a look at that if you haven't already, because mind you, I suppose you've been excited about Dredd, you've been looking at Goblin Games because they've put a lot of exciting content out there to begin with. So yeah, so but if you haven't, I'd have a look at that if you want to get a good idea of what the game involves right now. So you've got a few little starting scenarios in there, and that okay, what were they meant to be? Oh, Judge Cassidy and Judge Ramirez. So senior street judge and a veteran street judge. Oh, so it's not technically a rookie then, I suppose, for the purposes of these games. So that one's going to be them and the whole gang. So I don't know, two judges against 8. These gangers seem a little outnumbered, but we'll soon find out exactly how outnumbered that is. Okay, so next up the cards section. So here you go, quite cool stuff there. I'm not sure what that is. It looks like it's in some kind of stasis bubble. I dare say we'll find out again as we go on. With some barricades, other little bits. Here's your cars. That's looks like a taxi a bit, I suppose. A bit of garbage. Munch burgers. Yeah, now that's going to bring me to my next point actually. Let's move that out of the way for the moment. Right, so I'm a big fan. I do love the comics, but I'm a particular big fan of the 2012 Dredd film. Okay, so it's kind of one of those things I always find with 2000 AD. I find it's a bit disagree as you may. I think it's very comic-y, more so than some of the other things like Marvel, DC. So I think sometimes they don't always translate into live action as well as some could. I mean, there was the Dick Tracy film, I think it was 1990, that involved was obviously a reimagining of a comic, and they did a lot of things with prosthetics, makeup, and things like to make everything look like it was from the comics. Now I thought that was great, but some things, I don't know, the dark world of was it 2190? Was it the of Mega City? Probably might not work as well. But I was a big fan of the 2012 Just Dredd film, as I say. So I wanted to kind of go with a bit of a real world look as best I could with my terrain and my little sector of Mega City that I'm going to build up. So I had a bunch of these buildings that I never got any further with than spraying grey from TT Combat that I had for Project Z, the now seemingly defunct Project Z. Don't quote me on that. As I said, much I enjoyed the great game, good fun, but I never quite got around to doing the building. So hopefully it's going to be good inspiration for me to get my my urban terrain, my urban apocalypse terrain done. Which reminds me, I will need a new upgrade the table mat or get a new mat for that. But that's why I was quite looking forward with these, because although obviously, you know, as I'm trying to build a generic post-apocalyptic world, but here we have these graffiti transfers, which I think will be great, because though they're obviously specific to Dredd, I think they could, from a distance or to the untrained eye, could look like generic graffiti. Unlike the Necromunda transfer sheet, which is obviously going to be specifically, it's not going to translate as well to other game tables. And I think it's quite funny how this came out and then Necromunda got a transfer sheet again. Hey, possibly the competition for each other there. But yeah, so I'll see this game as a good opportunity to get these city streets built, and I'll be using the transfers for that. But yeah, and I know it's not just street level stuff, but I think TT Combat do a good highway that I think would look cool, just to add a bit of a feel of the Just Dredd universe to it. Even though it's a more of a real world, potentially a real world setting, But yeah, and obviously a mega block itself, which is one of the archetypal buildings of the story, would be bigger than the board size itself. So I think for the moment we might just leave that one alone. Right, here we go. So this is the battle damaged, more buildings, but this time with a bit of battle damage and graffiti and recyc. Now recyc is what the is where bodies of people go. So presumably that's maybe a corpse starch as they call it, or your Soylent Green, possibly. Obviously there's a lot of mouths to feed, and not everyone's presumably still into their recycling. So yeah, there you go. That's the ultimate recycling bit of corpse starch. So yeah, so we've got the building, or a vandalised and destroyed building for that. So what does that say? Can't quite read that. Got a bit of graffiti on the top there, but cool. And some damaged vehicles as well. I'm not sure if that was meant to be a cab. I remember they had yellow cabs in Sylvester Stallone's film, but yeah, awesome. And obviously some battle damaged barricades there. So nice. Okay. And finally, we have the most important part. Well, I always think the miniatures are most important, but I know obviously you can't have a miniatures game without the rulebook itself. Now, I'm going to go through this, and I will come back to this with a proper review. I've got a basic idea from videos I've seen about how the game itself works. I know it has similarities, if not is the same as Strontium Dog, but yeah. So I will come back to this in a video of its own as it deserves. Right then, let's go on to the figures. Okay, so I'll come in there, little all boxed together. I hope they're all boxed together, as I'm missing a few of my boys and girls. Right then, okay. Oh, so Kieran has kindly packed these ones for me. Thank you, Kieran. Right, so I've got a little pile of. Oh, these are done in the new resin. Now, so far the only experience I've had with the new resin is with the special edition figure from SPQR, and I wasn't blown away with it myself. More for the cleaning of the. I mean, painting wise, it was the same as any other figure. And now, see, this one is a harder plastic than that one. It's a harder material, and the mould lines, which obviously were the only. I don't know, should I say defect, or thing I had to tidy up on that figure, don't appear to be as obviously there on this one. So sort of the harder material and the mould lines, the lack of mould lines, might actually make this easier to clean. So yeah, I'll be happy with that if that's the case. Other than that, I mean, really, that just feels like a plastic model. Wouldn't have necessarily known it was any different. It's not that tackiness that the resin ones can have, and the feel of it just doesn't. Yeah, and it's not soft. Oh, brilliant. Okay, I'm very happy with that so far. Again, when I've had a little play with them, I'll come back to you with I'll give you a proper review of them. But yeah. Okay, so there we have. These are the street gangers so far. I won't go through all these entirely, but there you go. Is the I think it's one of, if not the only, female street ganger. That looks like some kind of special weapon to me, so yeah, cool. So maybe a heavy, as they call it. So the interest of these, I had a Escher gang for Necromunda, which I enjoyed doing. I don't know if I'll be doing any more of them, because you know, onwards and upwards to other things, but it would still be kind of. Oh, there's another that looks like another female one to me, I think. Maybe not. Yeah. Well, either way. That's good. Yeah, no, so but I did really enjoy working with them, and these have the similar punky style. Here we go. This is a judge. There you go, with nightstick in hand, or day stick, I think it's called in this one. Yeah, there's a couple of little things I'll need taken off, but yeah, no, that feels like a good material. That does. And let's tell you what. Let's just have a look at the other judge, and then. We'll come back to the, well, then we'll move on. As I say, I'll have a proper look at these when I get around to doing some work on them, which hopefully won't be too long. And here you go, there's our final. There you go. I'm going to call her Judge Anderson for the moment. She looks a bit like Judge Anderson. She's left her helmet behind. Obviously it interferes with her psychic abilities. Not stopping to think whether or not a bullet would interfere with them more. There we go. That's cool. And so 8 of those, yeah, all in there. Nice one. Okay, so right then, let's move on to the next. But that's the box, the unboxing done. So I'm going to move on to the next sets that I've got. So I'll save the big man till last. Okay. So next we have the Block Gang reinforcements. So metal figures, limited launch edition. There they are. So I don't know if these have anything special about them, what weapons wise, or if they're just a few extra models to go with the group. That one looks like it's carrying some grenades or something. So nice one. Okay. So first things first, we've got a couple of cards in this one. So, so the blue ones, which were your I can't remember what they said they were, but they're your big Meg cards, and the dark ones presumably the Armory, and you've got some character cards in there as well. I won't go too much into the specifics of those because, as I say, I'm not 100% au fait with what a lot of it means at the moment. Here's the main themselves. In fact, let's get this back over here. That's bases, of course, and get these guys out. Right. So he's got a few bits they need clearing up, but there's some kind of assault rifle armed ganger. There's the grenade guy. I quite like that actually. Who does that remind me of? Is it the Anarchist or something from Batman? Something along those lines. Some character from something else. Oh well. No, I like that. I like the hoodie as well. And oh, there you go. Got another one here. Appears to be missing an arm. I'll hopefully find that in the bag in a second. It's the axe armed chap. Yes, here we go. Have his arm there, so it's 2 axes. Nice one. So up next we'll move on to the big man himself. Right, and so needing no introduction, Judge Dredd himself. So yeah, as I said, I pre-ordered this as the pack, as Judgment Day pack. Obviously you can't have Judge Dredd without Judge Dredd, and this one both mounted and unmounted just had to happen. So I have got a base in there, but I'll leave that to it. So Vass has kindly packed this one for my enjoyment down the line. So here we go. So this one's a resin kit. Actually, this looks like okay. So again, you've got the cards. We've got the Lawmaster stat card there. Yeah, not sure what that means. I presume that 14 inches is movement. Oh, the 2 feet. So. Okay, let's have a guess, see if I'm right. So there's a feet of movement. I'm going to say that's aim, that's close combat. So I'm going to guess the 3 and the 4 are the number of dice you get. Dodge, armour, cool, that's your head. I suppose that's your cool or leadership, whatever. And I'm going to guess that's your points value. Okay, whether or not, don't quote me on that, but we'll find out later down the line if I'm right. I'll refer to this again. Right, so there you go. So we've got that in the Lawmaster in 2 parts. That is resin, as we discussed earlier. Got a slight sticky feeling to it, but so I need a wash. But okay, so that's your 2-part bike. Again, though, it looks very nice. I mean, it doesn't look as massive amounts, if anything at all, to cut away there. So yeah, that'll be good. Oh yeah, there's something there. But hey, that doesn't really matter. But yeah, so there's your look. Oh, yeah, that looks like it'll be a nice, another nice little simple kit to work with. And in here you have the other little bits. These are in your soft plastic. We've got Judge Dredd on his badge. Does it say Dredd on his badge? Yeah, you can just about make out Dredd on the badge there. So there's the mounted figure. Looks like there'll be enough space. So I'm getting a magnet on that because you can detach him during games. So a magnet will obviously help with keeping him on there. In fact, let's bring this in. Might make things easier to see. And finally, the last few bits, we got Dredd himself. You can make out his name on the badge, so there's Dredd himself. And, most importantly, the bit you've all been waiting for, handlebars for the bike. Might seem like a little thing, but you can't have the bike without the handlebars. Right then. So there is that. I'm going to bring this video to an end now. In fact, let's find a more fun image to end the video on. So I'm going to bring this video to an end now. Obviously, hopefully, it's been a little bit of interest to some of you to have a quick look through those first 3 boxes and have a little look at the bits and pieces inside. Maybe even of interest to some of you, my intentions, well, the few intentions I've given you with the game. Next up, I don't know whether I'll just have a look at some assembling or whether I'll look at I'm hoping in a couple of days to have a little go at the game itself. So I'll be able to give you a bit more of an informed review at that point. And or if there's anything you particularly want to see going forward, please let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe. If you haven't enjoyed the video, please comment and let me know what you think. And then subscribe anyway, because you can see later on how I take your feedback on board. And hopefully you'll enjoy my videos in the future. Right then, so that's it from me then. I've been Carlos with Small World Games. And please join us next time. Thank you and good night.